Hey, welcome to another one of our videos. Today I'm going to show you how I make baby back ribs in a pit barrel cooker. I've been asked several times when we cook the ribs, hey, the ribs are hanging there in the barrel. What keeps the bottom from getting, too done, too dark versus the top? Quite frankly, that will happen. You've got a couple of options. One option is only cook them, halfway through and wrap them, a traditional 2-2-1 method, although you don't want to cook for 5 hours on this pit barrel, but I'm saying you want to use that technique. But today, I'm going to show you some tips how you can let these ribs hang for the entire cook, and absolutely the bottoms will not get dark. Make sure you watch this entire video because I'm going to announce the winner for that meat church rub from that smoked corned beef recipe a few weeks ago. Sorry for all the background noise. Everybody's mowing their grass today. But one of the things I wanted to show you is I only light a very small area when I'm doing ribs and I'm gonna hang them down. I've noticed that if I get a larger area started, then the entire cook tends to burn hotter. Okay, we've got 2 racks of baby back ribs here. I'm going to season each one different. One's for me, one's for my son. Now the folks, I've never tried this. The folks at Heaven Made Products sent me out a few rubs to try. I'm going to put this Smoky Habanero on mine. I did open it up and taste it. It's got a nice little bite to it, great flavor. And I certainly appreciate those folks sending this out for us to try. So we're going to give it a try on this set of ribs. I'll be anxious to know how it is. I've seen several videos on YouTube where folks have used this rub, and they really have good things to say about it. Now for prep, I did rinse these, patted them dry, and then the other thing I did was I removed the membrane off the back here. Okay, so to make sure I don't screw up and get these confused during the cook, I'll put a toothpick in the Heaven Made Products before we get going. Now for the other one, for my son, we're going to use this Meat Church Holy Gospel Barbecue Rub. We've used this for a couple of cooks. I'm telling you, it is absolutely awesome. This one I can speak for, absolutely awesome. And I'll show you the barbecue sauces we're going to use later. We've actually kind of consciously chose a specific barbecue sauce with each of these 2 rubs based on their taste profiles. So let me get this seasoned up. It'll just take a second, so there's no reason to leave. And then we're going to get the hooks in these guys, okay? Now, several videos on YouTube, hanging ribs. Some will tell you to put it down here in the thicker end, not the thinner end. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying I've made probably a dozen racks of ribs hanging them in this pit barrel now. I personally prefer to hang from the small end. What has happened in my cooks in the past is when I hang from the wider end, the small end gets too done in the pit barrel, and I'll show you why if you stay with me in just a second. So what we're going to do here is find 1, 2, and I'm sorry if you can't see this in the video. I don't know. There we go. On this one, I'm down in there 3 good bones. I definitely don't want it to fall off. And this is the narrower side, although there's not a lot of difference in this one. This one is the narrower side for this rack. Okay? So I'm in 3 bones on each one. Let me get a toothpick to put in this Heaven Made product so I can keep it separate, and then we'll move over to the pit barrel. Before we get these ribs in the smoker, I just want to show you I am using a little grape wood today. I'm going to put these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in. Okay, so here's the challenge many of you have asked me about, as well as if you look at YouTube videos, you're going to see this in the videos. I've seen it on several. This is where these ribs are going to hang, okay? This is the fire right here. So you know that it's hotter here than it is up here. So I want you to stay with me, and I will show you how to avoid the bottom of those ribs getting burnt. Okay, I'm just going to get this lid off. I'm going to put that grape wood in that I showed you. Okay, I'm going to get them hung in here. Something else I learned is if they're too far back towards this back of the barrel, that side will get pretty dark. I got my toothpick in here to show my Heaven-Made Products ribs so I don't get them mixed up. Now we're going to get the lid on these and we're going to check on them in 1 hour, and I'll show you a key tip. It's been 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay. Now a lot of times when we make these videos to try to show you guys things, we'll lay it up here on the pit barrel cooker so that you can see it. But there's a problem with that, and the problem is it lets a lot of oxygen get in this pit barrel, and it heats it up. So then you have a further problem of dealing with that bottom getting too done, because this barrel gets all hot, right? So I'm going to show you when I'm doing these just for me in no video how we do it. Now you can see these ribs right now. Look, absolutely no darkness at the bottom compared to the top. The coloring is quite uniform. Now, what I'm going to do is, let me get this glove back on. I took it off. I'm going to turn these ribs over. Okay. Like I say, they've been cooking 1 hour and 15 minutes. And now I'm going to come in here with the hook on the other end. Okay. This is going to allow us to rotate. You know, this was the bottom. Now the top is going to become the bottom, right? And what this will do, trust me, I've done this. This is my favorite way if I want to hang them. This is how you can keep them hung in that pit barrel and not get one end too done. So I got to tell you, this is, in my opinion, unless you want to just babysit these things or wrap them. Now, if you wrap them, you don't have this problem. And I'm not going to wrap these ribs at all today. This is the way you can cook these ribs in here. You rotate them about halfway through. I'm expecting this to take around 3.5 hours. Let me get that lid on. And I'll show you when we're done, neither end of these ribs is going to be too cooked. Okay, we're getting really close to 3 hours. I want to show you how we're going to sauce these guys up. That Heaven-Made Products, that smoked habanero, I'm going to use a little bit of this Torchbearer pineapple papaya barbecue sauce. The heat from that rub and the sweet from this sauce is going to be awesome. And then the ones that I told you I was making for my son, we're going to pair up with this Budweiser Sweet and Smoky. This is just a traditional, quite good smoky barbecue sauce. Now, we're getting a lot of smoke. I'm not certain why it's smoking up so much right now, but let me get them over here. I don't want to show them to you on this pit barrel because I'm going to let more oxygen in it. We'll have a look at them when we get them over here. Okay. Great color on these guys. I'm really looking forward to this. Let's have a look and see if they're ready to be sauced up. And then I want to get this lid back on quite quick. It's already starting to flame up. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, the color on these ribs is beautiful. And you can see, look, it's not burnt or too dark on either end. I'm telling you, this rotating, if you don't want to take the ribs out and wrap them on this pit barrel, the rotating it is the way to do it. Like I said, I've mentioned them. I've made them like a dozen times, and one end, if I don't rotate them, always gets super done. Okay, so look at that. We're starting to get some nice bend in these guys. I'm going to go ahead and sauce them up. Now this is the one that's got our toothpick in it. Now this one's a little thicker. It doesn't feel like it's quite as done, you know, but I'm going to go ahead and sauce it anyway. So this is the one that's got the Heaven-Made Products in it. The smoked habanero. So I'm just going to brush that papaya sauce on both sides. I'm going to put the Budweiser sauce on the one that we use the Meat Church rub on. As soon as I get both sides up, we'll get these back, or get both sides sauced up, I should say. We'll get these back over to the pit barrel cooker, and I will rotate the ends for the another time here. All right, so let's just get this lid back off and get these ribs in here real quick. Okay, there's one of our racks. There's our second rack. It's already starting to flame up just those few seconds. Let me get this on here. In fact, let me do two things. I want to scoot this guy up so it's away from the flame. It's flaming up just that quick. That's one of the things you got to be careful with this guy. Let me get this lid on to snuff this fire out. I'll probably let that go 20-30 minutes, and then we'll check it out and see if it's done. It's been 3.5 hours. I just don't want these guys to overcook. We'll take them out. We're going to have a look. Oh, look at that. They're falling in two after 3.5 hours. No doubt they're done. Okay, so let me get these guys out of here. That's what she looks like. Oh my gosh, look at those ribs. I'm just going to let them sit here for about 10 minutes, cool down, and then we're going to do the taste test. The ribs been here about 10 minutes. Just look. Consistent color all the way out. Not one end is burnt. I'm telling you, that rotating is the way to go if you don't want to wrap your ribs. Now, I should say I've made ribs on this pit barrel cooker where halfway through the cook I wrapped them and they don't get too dark, you know, on the end. So what I'm going to do is get these hooks out. Okay, they're still pretty hot. I mean, the hooks are cooled down, obviously, where you can see I can touch them, but the ribs themselves are pretty hot. Here's our toothpick. So this is the one with our Heaven Made Products smoked habanero rub, and then that papaya pineapple barbecue sauce, and then this is our Budweiser with the meat church. Now you can see these are cooked pretty done. This is a smaller rack, but you can see it even split in two. So these might be a little bit too done for some folks. We'll see. Just gonna cut up a few so you guys can see them, and of course so I can taste them. All right. That's pretty much the reason I do this, is so I can taste these guys. All right. We'll do this one first, and then we'll try the other ones. Okay. Look at that. I hope you can see that. We do have the nice smoke ring. Look at that. They're still nice and juicy. They are coming off the bone, so you know, some folks I'm sure are going to comment, oh my God, you overcooked them. You know, for some taste maybe. But I got a feeling, you know, it's going to be just right for me. So you can see, look, it's got a real nice smoke ring. You just want to bring in just a little bit closer, you can see. Look, there's plenty of moisture in these ribs still. Oh yeah. All right, so we're going to give these guys, these are the Budweiser in that meat church rub. I'm telling you, they look great. Let's give them a try. Flavor is absolutely awesome. Now, there's no spice, right? That rub we used wasn't spicy. The sauce sauce that we used, easy for me to say, wasn't spicy. Really nice smoky flavor. Nice solid baby back rib flavor, you know, just that nice pork. Little salt, little pepper from that seasoning. I'm sorry, got the sauce all over me. They came out perfect. Now, let's try this other rack. Okay, let me just scoop these guys over a little bit. Okay, sit that there, get it out of the way. Here's our toothpick to show our Heaven Made Products ribs. Okay, I'm just going to cut some of these guys. Okay, this rack is a little bigger than the other rack, and they're not cooked as much. This rack is going to be more like what a lot of you folks that, you know, don't like it falling off the bone, how you know, this will be more the way you prefer it. But there's our ribs. Hopefully you can see that. We still have the nice smoke ring. Look at that. Nice and juicy. Here's another one for you. Okay. Let's give this guy a try. Holy smoke, are those moist. Mm. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, I appreciate the spice. It is not like, you know, it's not like a hot sauce where you've got that Tabasco or whatever, that vinegar or heat. This is just a nice, consistent spice. Not hot. If you don't like hot at all, well then these are going to be, you know, maybe a 3 for you. If you like a little spice, then these are going to be a little 2. It's lingering a bit. Wow. And it's offset by that papaya and pineapple barbecue sauce. I'm sorry, I'm being extremely rude. Sorry. So, both sets of ribs are awesome. You can see the consistency throughout the ribs in terms of the cook. One end not being darker than the other, not getting too done. Came out perfect. My personal favorite is, in fact, that Heaven Made Products smoked habanero with the pineapple papaya. I'm not saying that because they sent me the rub. They did. I admitted that right up front. It's got an extremely nice flavor. I wouldn't tell you that if it didn't. And like I said, the first rack, that bold smoky barbecue sauce, Budweiser sauce, actually quite good. No spice in that one. So there's two options for you. So if you want to cook these ribs on a pit barrel and not get one end cooked too much, because I'm telling you, if you watch a few videos, you're going to see it happen. And you don't want to wrap them. Simple thing to do. Step one, just make sure a small part of the charcoal is lit, right? Step two, anytime you're taking that lid off, get it off, get the ribs out. If you're checking on them, get the lid back on so you don't get too much oxygen in there and get that flamed up. The most important step to me, if you don't want to wrap these ribs, is rotate them like we did, halfway through the cook. Thanks so much for watching another one of our videos. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. You'll be notified about all of our new videos. If you have any questions, comments, hey, if you got some better ideas on how to do these baby backs in this pit barrel, just leave them below.